Okay, so welcome to your yoga practice today. Move back to my spot and let's begin by taking our seat. And so, as you take your seat, if you're seated on the floor, I've got a blanket underneath me. You could have a blanket underneath you. You could sit on a pillow. We want to have this elevation for our spine. And so, seated on the floor, you could have the legs in any position that's comfortable. These are a couple ideas. The legs extended out, one leg extended out. You could have one leg folded in or both legs folded in. If you're on the floor, this is a little tip. If you're on the floor and you feel pulling through your low back, having support behind you, like the support of a wall or the support of even like a couch or a bed, can give that support to the back body so that your hips can essentially relax. Now, in the chair, let's come forward in the chair, come a little bit more forward to the front edge of your chair. So the sit bones are more towards the front edge. And then let's all take the inner thighs and roll them inward. Take your sit bone back. Your sit bone is on the very bottom of your pelvis there. Take the sit bone back and then anchor it. And then do the same through the other side. Roll the thigh inward and take the sit bone back and then ground down through the sit bones. And we can think of the sit bones as our little feet. So we anchor down through the sit bones. And now rest the hands, the arms in any way that's comfortable for you. And let's take some time here to connect with our breath. And so, we let the mind get quiet. Maybe we quiet the chatter in the mind. We connect with the breath. Maybe you close your eyes or look downward towards the floor, softening your gaze. Extend up through the center of your body, lengthening the spine, and notice how your chest lifts and even opens up. With your spine long, the back is engaged. And become aware of the rise and fall of your breath. You might even bring a hand to your belly, a hand to your heart. Feel the breath flowing in through your nose, down your throat to inflate your lungs. And gradually, as you follow your breath, you might sense how the belly is moving with your breath. Taking these nice, full breaths, it can calm the body, can quiet the mind. It nourishes a lot of, the breath nourishes a lot of the systems within our body. And now bring your hands to your heart, or you could bring hands together in front of your heart. Take a few more breaths here. You made this time for yourself. You made this time for your yoga to connect back to that energy within yourself. And maybe you are refreshing that energy today. Maybe you came to class today with something in mind that you hope we'll touch on. It might be, quieting the mind, doing some things to strengthen, to balance, to stretch. Or maybe you just came, to connect back to yourself and to your community. And now I'm going to chant the sound of Om 3 times, and you could join in if you wish. The sound of Om it's representative of that vibration that everything gives off in the universe. Everything has an energy to it. You, me, all living things. There's this universal hum. And when we chant the sound of Om, it's like we're replicating that. And when we do it together collectively, it's like we bring all of our energy together and then we're extending that out into the world around us. So, with that said, if you'd like to join me, go ahead and exhale fully now and take a nice, deep, long breath in. Whoa. Inhale. Whoa. Take one more deep breath in. Whoa. And go ahead and release your hands, your arms, and you can let your eyes open now, just taking everything back in again. All right. So I'm going to, let's begin by doing a couple sun breaths to connect with the breath and to move the body. So let's take a nice deep breath in and reach up with your side body long from your waistline to your armpits. And then as you exhale, just relax down through your shoulders, your arms. Breathe in, reach the arms up, and breathe out, releasing down, softening. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, let it go. Great. And now let's do some movements for the spine. So inhale, reach up through the left side of your body and lengthen over to the right. You might rest a hand on the floor, on your chair, as you ground down through that left sit bone. See if you can stay anchored down through that left sit bone so you're aware of that. And then inhale, come on back up, release that side, reach up through the right side now, lengthen up and over, rooting down through your right sit bone, enjoying the breath. Inhale to come back up and let that go. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, reach up through the left side now, lengthen up and over to the right. And when we bring the breath in, it can calm our nervous system. It can help us to focus. Come on back up, release that. Inhale, reach up through the right side now, lengthen over to the left. And then breathe in to come on back up and let that go. Okay, now let's do a twist. So breathe in, lengthen, and exhale, twist to the right. Take another breath in to lengthen, and then exhale, come on back to center. Okay, and then we'll twist to the other side. Breathe in to lengthen, twist to the left side. Inhale, lengthen, and come on back to center. Now, you could lift on the inhale and twist and hold it, or if you feel like you need to add some movement, you could twist from side to side, more of a dynamic movement. And if you have been in the twist to the right, lengthen, come back to center, and then twist to the left. And you could hold your twist there, enjoying your breathing. Okay, and then let's all come on back to center again. Ah, yeah, wonderful. Okay, now let's do some shoulder circles. So take one shoulder up, back, and down, and then the other shoulder up, back, and down, one at a time. Circulating the shoulders, which is so good for our shoulder joints. It helps to release that fluid that's in the joint, so the joint glides. You could keep doing that, or you could take your fingertips to your shoulders and with bent elbows, take the elbows up, back, and down, adding this twisting motion as you rotate the shoulders back. Almost like a paddle, like you're paddling. Okay, and then let's go the other way now. Circle forward, back, and down. Maybe adding that little twisting motion. Great, and then come on back to center and go ahead and rest your hands, rest your arms. Now let's do some seated cat and cow. So from seated cat and cow, I want to show you from this position here. Let's let the movement come from the middle of our body. Okay, so that takes like the head really out of it so that we don't overstretch through the neck. So as you inhale, lift up through the chest, broaden through the collarbones. And then as you exhale, draw your front ribs towards your back body as you maybe gently bow the head. Inhale to lift up and open into what we call cow. It's like a gentle back bend. And then exhale as you stretch through the back body. Breathe in, open up the front of your body. Exhale, open up the back of the body. Breathe in, open up the front. Breathe out, stretching the back. Let's do one more. Breathe in, open up, and exhale, cat. Okay, and then come on back to what we call neutral spine, grounding down through your sit bones. And now let's do some more movement for the upper body. So you could do shoulder shrugs, bring your shoulders up to your ears, inhale, and then with like a sighing, inhale up, exhale, letting go of anything you want to let go of. How about if we do it one more time? Okay, so you could do 3 more of those, or you could bring your hands forward and circle your wrists. This is really good for our circulation, our vascular health. And circle the other direction. Good. And then reach the arms out, open up the chest, bend the elbows if those are available, and then bring the arms in towards each other. Open the arms up again and reach out. Bend and bring them in. Open and reach out. Bend, bring them in. Open and reach out. And then take a deep breath in, lengthen up through the side body, lengthen up through the heart. If you've got something going on with your shoulders, or if you feel a little tired, you might keep the arms low and think about lengthening up through the heart. Ground down through your sit bones. So we root down, feeling very grounded here. Take another deep breath in, exhale, let it go. Release the arms. And you go ahead and shake them out a little bit. Okay, great. Let's move on to the hips now. So rock back and forth on your sit bones. Then let's walk one sit bone back at a time. We're walking backwards, taking a couple steps on the sit bones, and then forward. Walk back again. You might do this with your arms crossed over your chest, or take one hand in front of your chest, bring the other hand in front, interlock your fingers, this is called the Ganesh Mudra. It helps us to remove obstacles that might be in our way, or obstacles that might be in the path of our happiness, of us connecting with our joy. Okay, and then come on back to that original position, back to your easy seated pose, mountain pose. And you could have your hands in this Ganesh Mudra, or imagine that you're hugging your heart. Okay, and as we're holding this Ganesh Mudra, let's do 3 ha breaths. So we'll inhale through the nose, and then ha, and let the arms go. Yep, and then take the mudra again, or think of like hugging your heart. Inhale through your nose, ha, let them go. Once more. Inhale, ha, yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's great. Okay, now let's take one thigh and roll your leg in and out here. It's good for our hip health. Or lift the leg and take your hip in circles. If you're making circles, reverse the direction. Okay, now set that leg down and then bend and straighten at your knee. Or you could hug the leg up towards you and lower it down. So it's more like you're lifting from the top of your thigh, you bring it towards you, or you could add that extension of the leg. great for our joint health. Okay, then go ahead and set that leg down. Establish that seat again, grounding through the sit bones. Take that left thigh out and in. Or lift the leg, take it out and in. Or see how it would feel to circle your hip. Think of this as nourishing your hip joint. Reverse the direction. Okay, bring it back to center. Go ahead and set it down. And then we'll bring the thigh towards the torso. You could add the extension of the leg. Bend and extend. Great, and then go ahead and set that leg down. Nice. All right, now let's do this movement that incorporates a little hinging forward from the hip. So take the thighs a little bit wider. So we'll inhale and reach up through the side body, and then as you exhale, fold forward and rest your forearms on your thighs. And then inhale, you might bring hands to thighs, press down to come back up, and then sweep the arms out and up, and then release the arms. Yeah, so we're creating a little flow here. So let's do a couple more like that to warm up the back body. Okay, so inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, rest on the thighs. Come up halfway. Fold forward. I added that little extra forward fold in. I hope that was okay. And then inhale, come on back up and sweep the arms out and up and then release. Okay, let's do one more. Breathe in, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. You could add that little half lift if you want, lifting the spine. Fold, hinging from your hip crease. Inhale to come up and then reach out and up. And then lower the arms and the shoulders. Okay, and then roll the thighs in and out. Or you could do windshield wipers, shifting the legs from side to side. Nice release for the hips. Okay, now if you would like to come to standing position, we'll come to mountain pose. All of the poses I'm going to show from standing position can also be done in seated position. So if you're coming to standing position, having a wall behind you or even like backing up near a couch is nice to have that support. Okay, so from your mountain position, could also have a chair close by. Like I like to have the back of the chair close by just for balance. It's nice. So open up the legs a little bit. Take the feet a little bit wider than hip width. So you have this nice base. And let's shift side to side. So shift to the left sit bone, shift over to the right side, shifting side to side. So this rocking, the shifting is good for our balance because our body is figuring out what's going on. You know, it's almost like the floor or the surface that we're sitting on is moving underneath us. So it has to figure that out. So this is really good for balance. Okay, now come back to your mountain pose, grounding down through your pelvis, grounding down through the sit bones and reaching up through the crown of your head. From here, we'll shift the weight over to the left foot. And this might be where you have your hand on the chair if you're standing, and slide your right foot closer and then lift the right thigh. And then you could play with like taking the arms in a different position if that's available. You could reach the arms up or maybe keep a hand on the chair. The foot can always touch down. Hug your front ribs towards your back body. It's very strengthening to core too. Inhale as you exhale, release, come on back to mountain pose. Great, and if you need to have the chair like on the other side, you can always turn around. Okay, from mountain, shift the weight over to your left side now, or excuse me, to your right side. Slide the left leg closer to the right. Lift the right leg up. Steady your gaze on something there in front of you. Try to keep your chest lifted and open. And then maybe you take an arm out or up, balancing in this steadiness. And lower everything back down. Come on back to mountain. Great. Separate the legs and let's do some circles. So take the hips in circles. If you're sitting in the chair, you could do torso circles. This is great movement to release the low back. Like we're hula hooping, right? Okay, circle the other direction. Making those big circles with your hips. And then come on back. Great. Okay, now let's do a warrior one. And I'd like to show you standing and in the chair. So warrior one, chair will be in front of us. You could take a couple steps back and then step forward with your left leg and bend your left knee. Now seated in the chair, if you can turn to face the left side, open this left hip out to the side. This right leg could stay as is, or if you like don't have your prosthesis on and can bring this knee and shin towards the floor, support your residual limb if you don't have your prosthesis on with a block or a blanket, and the hips square towards that left side. Okay. Drawing the left hip back, right hip forward now. See if you want to reach the arms up. Or you might bring, a hand to your heart, or both hands could rest at your heart. That might be better for shoulders. If the shoulders feel tight, relax the jaw. Take one more nice full breath in. And as you exhale, let's lower shoulders, lower arms, and then come on back to your mountain pose. Okay, and then we'll go to the second side. So if you're standing from mountain pose, step forward with your right foot. If you're seated, open the right leg out to the side, keeping the legs in this V, or releasing the knee and the shin, supporting your lower leg with a block or a blanket. And now breathe in, reach up from there. Notice that rise and fall of your breath. Filling up the chest. Take another breath in, exhale, release, lower arms and shoulders, and then come on back to your mountain pose. And then once we're back in mountain pose, let's do the empty coat sleeve. So take your thighs a little wider and then do this twirling motion. This can be done seated or standing. Twisting from side to side. Begin to slow it down. And then come to a stop. I always think of a butter churner when I'm doing that one. All right, now let's do some warrior two. If you're standing and you're on a yoga mat, you could face the long edge of the yoga mat and have the chair on the right side, because we'll go to the right side first this time. Having a blanket at the end of the mat to support your prosthesis underneath your heel, that could be nice. Also, having access to a wall. These are just ideas, if you've got access to a wall, backing up to the wall so you have that support for your back body. Then we'll open the legs wide. If you're in seated position, open the legs wide. And you might move back on your chair and straighten this left leg and roll your thigh inward. So this is really about comfort for the hips here. Depending on the chair, you could move back and have that support underneath your seat. Maybe it would feel better to turn towards the corner of your chair. That feels really nice too, doesn't it? And then from standing position, rotate the left leg in, turn the right leg out, and bend your right knee. Okay, then let's be sure that the shoulders are on the same plane as the hips. Good. I always think like check my suspenders. I'm checking my suspenders, right? And then let's inhale and reach up and out. Open up your chest, your heart, and then turn your head to look out over the right side. It's very empowering, warrior two. And imagine this light like a sun radiating out from the center of your chest, radiate out from the middle of your back to flow outward to fill the room. So you're letting that inner light shine bright here. Take another inhale, and as you exhale, go ahead and lower the arms, soften the shoulders. Good. And then straighten the leg and bring the legs back to facing the same direction. And we'll go to the second side now. So step the feet together, please. If you got the chair on the right side, you could just turn around so you don't have to move the chair. I like to move it so that my back isn't to you. Put it over there. Open the thighs wide. And maybe if you're seated, you move back in the chair. If you'd like to straighten your right leg, roll the right thigh inward, turn the left leg out, and bend your left knee. And then let's open up again. Inhale, big breath in. You're sweeping up and out. And then turn your head to look out over the left side. Softening the gaze. Connect with your breathing here. Take another breath in. Exhale, release. Straighten the leg and bring the legs back to parallel. And then step the legs back together again. And let's do some marching. Okay, so lifting heels, you could lift the legs up. You might let the arms be very loose. Maybe you want to add a little cross touch. Touch opposite thigh. Good for our brain health. And we do cross body actions like that. Okay, tap one more time to each side and then return back to mountain pose. Okay, pause here for a moment. You're welcome to even bring a hand to your chest. Maybe you'd like to close your eyes. You could have a hand on the chair if you need. Notice how you feel. Notice your breath. Notice the breath at your belly, how it expands and softens. And then feel the breath as it flows up from your abdomen up to your chest, like an elevator. And then as you exhale, you ride the elevator down. Feel the breath flowing back down, maybe even a heaviness in your belly. Inhale, ride the breath up to your chest. And release the breath. Ride that elevator breath back down to your belly. And go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed, back to mountain. Okay, let's do another lateral pose. Thought we would do tree pose. So tree pose, standing, this is an idea. If you are wearing a prosthesis on one side, to practice tree pose on your side with the prosthesis. Okay. Of course, remember, you don't have to, you can take these as suggestions, and if you're like, no way, I want to do it the way I want to do it, I'm going to do it on the other side, then do it on the other side. This is your practice. But, it's just a suggestion. If you're seated, this is how we'll do tree pose. Let's extend forward through the left leg and open the right hip out to the side. If you're standing, shift the weight over to your side that you're wearing the prosthesis on. Chair could be on the side for balance, or it could be in a corner. You can move to a corner wall. having the corners too is very supportive to our sides, right? So that I'm aware of the wall supporting my shoulders. Okay, then we'll shift the weight to that side that you're wearing the prosthesis on. Open the other hip out to the side and rest your heel on either your inner ankle, or you could have a block at your heel. It's a good way to support your prosthetic leg. And then let's reach up from there, lengthen up. The soft, steady gaze, connected to yourself here, connected to everything. Yoga reminds us of that. Take another breath in, exhale, release, and come on back to your mountain pose. Great. It occurred to me that I told you about the block for the prosthetic leg, but you were balancing on your prosthetic leg. But the block could be used for if you're wearing a prosthesis. When you bend your knee, when you open your hip out to the side, it can be used as a support underneath your heel. Okay, so you could have that at the ready. So coming from mountain pose again, let's balance down through the sit bones, ground through the sit bones. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Now shift your weight over to the other side. If you're seated, shift the weight over to your right side, bend the left knee and open the hip out to the side. And then let's reach up from there, from the sides of your waistline up to your armpits, lengthening from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Steadily breathing. Feel your inhale flow into your exhale. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, go ahead and lower down and come on back to mountain pose. Great, wonderful. And then feel free to do either some shifting of the weight back and forth, or you might do some hip circles, really exaggerating the movement. Go the other direction. Yeah, awesome. All right, and then come on back to mountain. Okay, let's now do some downward facing dog. So downward facing dog from standing, this is how I'd like to do downward facing dog if I'm standing and using the chair. Put a blanket at the back of the mat, and this would be for my heels, and then having my hands on the back of the chair or the seat of the chair. I'll step my feet back, step my legs back, and lengthen through my side body here. If we're in a seated position, take your hips back and reach forward through the sides of your torso, reach the arms forward with your head between your arms. Okay, so let's do it together. Okay, so start from mountain pose. And then if you're standing, go ahead and bring your hands to the chair, step your feet back. If you're seated, take your hips back, hinge forward from your hip crease, reaching forward through the crown of your head. It's really invigorating to the back body. You know, it strengthens the back body and you create more space for the breath. Breathe into your side ribs. Take another breath in, and now as you exhale, fold forward. Rest over your legs. You could walk your legs forward to the chair and rest your forearms on your thighs, or you could rest your arms on the chair. And then let's inhale, come on back up to your mountain pose. Okay, now the next pose I'd like to show you, we're going to do Cobra. I want to show you two different ways that we'll do Cobra for seated position and coming down onto the ground. So from a seated position, if you have a blanket or pillow, that's good too. You could fold it up. And don't worry if you don't have that today, no worries. By having this pillow and blanket here at our abdomen, so I'm really holding it nice and snug, nice and close. And now that I've showed you where I'm putting it there, then I'm going to come forward and then bring my arms back, hold on to the chair if you can there, and then I'm going to reach forward through the heart. This is our Cobra Pose. And I'm getting a little massage for my belly, which is good for digestion. This is also good for anxiety and depression. It's considered a heart opener, a gentle back bend. So we'll take a few breaths here, and then we're going to rest after that. And you could take the blanket away if you're in seated position. We'll rest, if it feels like it's like pressing in on your belly. Now, that's from the seated position. I'd like to show you from the floor if you'd like to come down to the floor. So the blanket put underneath my hips. I might have another blanket handy to go underneath my. If you can't see, please let me know because it looks a little bit different to me. So we'll come down onto our belly, and by having the blanket underneath the hips, this supports the low back. And then I'll lower down. The other blanket is underneath a prosthetic limb. We want to have the hips level here. So if you feel like, there's one side lifting, then put the blanket on the other side to balance the legs out. Okay, and then we'll take the hands underneath the shoulders and then use the back muscles to lift up into Cobra Pose. I'm going to keep my chin slightly drawn in to keep the back of the neck long, take a few breaths, and then we'll come on down and rest here. Okay, so I'm going to stay here and we'll do it together. We'll do it twice. All right, any questions? If there are any questions, please feel free to unmute. Okay, so if you're seated position, you got the blanket across your lap if you have one, and reach back towards your chair. You could hold on to the edges of the chair, reaching back through the arms. And then if you're on the floor, take the hands underneath your shoulders and then inhale, lift up through the chest using the back muscles, extending the heart forward. It's like you're reaching forward through your heart space. Take another breath and exhale, lower back down, and then let's rest. So flow forward. You might move that blanket off your lap if you're seated. It was pushing into your belly. You don't like it. Breathe into your belly. Okay, let's do that one more time because it really leaves an imprint when we do things twice. So setting up again for Cobra, you might bring the blanket back onto your lap. If you're seated, reach back, hold on to the edges of your chair, and then hinge forward, extend your heart forward. If you're prone like I am, inhale and lift up using your back muscles to lift your chest. Keep the chin gently drawn in so the back of the neck stays long. This can be a great stretch too for our hip flexors, from those muscles on the front of the hips. Take another breath as you exhale, lower down, and then let's rest again. Relax the thighs outward. Inhale through your nose and slowly blow it out through your mouth. Do that again. Breathe in through your nose. Blow slowly. Feel the breath in your belly. Okay, now if you're on the ground, can you turn over onto your back? And if you're seated, you can move the blanket off your lap. And we're going to now do hugging one leg in towards our chest. If you're in the chair, you might move back even so that your back is supported by the back of the chair. If you're on the ground, having a blanket underneath the back of the head, it really softens the neck and the shoulders. Then let's bring right thigh in towards the chest. Bring your right thigh in towards you. This again gives the belly a nice massage. It's good for our digestion. It helps to keep things flowing, you know what I mean? And from here, if you want to straighten the leg, feel free to do that. Sometimes it feels nice. Okay, set that leg down. Let's switch. Bring the left leg towards you. Maybe you extend it. Relax your jaw. Try placing your tongue on your upper palate so the lips are soft, jaw is soft. And then set that leg down. And then maybe you'd like to shift the legs side to side, shift the thighs side to side like windshield wipers, or rock back and forth in the chair. And then if you're laying on the ground, bring the thighs towards you. If you're seated, fold forward and rest your forearms on your thighs. So that here we're stretching the back again, specifically the low back. If you have, back tension, this is a good one. And this too can be done with strap, threading the strap behind the backs of the thighs and then using the strap to draw the legs in. Okay, lower the legs back down. And if you're seated, you can come back up. And now it's time to get ready to rest in Shavasana. So please get comfortable. If you're laying down, it might feel nice to, if you feel any pulling through your low back, put a blanket underneath your back. Also, having a blanket underneath your knees, that also gives nice support for the legs. If you're sitting in the chair, sit back with your back resting against the back of the chair. Or you could put a rolled up blanket behind your spine and then rest back against that blanket. And then let's take a few moments here to let ourselves settle down, to get quiet again inside. Notice the feel of your breath. Draw the breath in and let it go, even opening your mouth if you want, and letting it go like a sigh. Inhale through your nose, open your mouth, let it go, releasing. Soften the muscles in your face, soften shoulders, relax the front of your throat. Let go of all doing. You can simply be. Now stay quiet for the next few moments so that you can enjoy the stillness, the quiet. Sometimes that's nice. Bring your awareness now back to your belly. Notice that rise and fall of your belly with your breath. Imagine this energy flowing up from your belly up to the crown of your head on the inhale, and as you exhale, energy flowing downward through your body, grounding you, feeling solid, steady. As you breathe in, energy flows up from your belly to the crown, and as you release the breath, it flows downward. And now feel free to move in any way that would feel good for you. Move any part of your body that feels like it needs to move. Maybe doing just a little gentle rocking, some movement, some circles. And if you're laying down, then bend your knees and roll over to one side, supporting your head. And then gently bring yourself back up to a seated position. And then let's all sit tall again. Once you're seated again, take a few moments here to notice how you feel. Notice your energy. Notice if there's been any shift, maybe, maybe something you were thinking about before, you can't even remember what it was. Now, that's a beautiful thing about this yoga practice is that combination of movement and breath, stretching, releasing tension, it connects us back to ourselves and it can be a wonderful release at the same time. And now let's bring the hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra, or have an awareness of your heart center. And send gratitude to yourself for making this time to connect back to yourself and to take care of yourself in this way through these practices. Thank you so much for being here today. We always close with namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for being here. I'm going to stop recording now. Thank you if you joined in today.